the replay after Wembley if you draw?
No, it's extra time.
You've got to plan that in.
Extra time before to get to Wembley, not there.
Semi.
Yeah.
So we're not 80 minutes from it.
Golden point.
16 on golden point.
You
would.
It's just a nice, it's a nice feeling. It was good just to get to this point in the year where I'm starting to get some bodies back at the moment. We've got a tough week, but it's a challenging week, and lads are really up for the challenge. But we're 9 weeks away from a semi, so we can put that to one side. We had a chat yesterday and talked about the fact that now it's about using that as a tool to get better, not as something that we're aiming towards and being our only focus. We don't keep trying to get better every week and build some performances in over the next 9 weeks leading into that game.
For the fans, it's a great thing, isn't it? It's been a long time between drinks. How many years? 18, I think, since Widnes have been to a semi. So for the fans, it's
like I said, well, 18. I don't know where the venue is yet. I think it might be at Lee or in Tellens. I'm not sure whether they'll take us to Huddersfield, which will be maybe a little bit too big for the number of fans.
I think Huddersfield is ruled out, Denis, from what I'm hearing.
Is it?
Definitely not at Huddersfield. Wherever they are.
Well, I think the Leeds Warrington one will be probably a bigger venue, just because the number of fans both clubs generate at the moment. Whereas ourselves and Cass, with 5,000-6,000 people each, bring along that, then we want to try and fill a stadium. So someone like Lee Sports Village will be an ideal venue. Really, it's a fantastic stadium. 12,000 people. You get a great atmosphere because you've got plenty of standing as well. It's like, so that'll be an ideal place. But I think also Langtree Park could be a real good venue. We can look to squeeze more people out of both sets of clubs, both sets of fans from the clubs, to get us up to their capacity as well. So it's exciting for the supporters. It's exciting for the club to be in that situation again. Like I say, I didn't realise it was 18 years. I think there's one of those kind of strange things over the last few years as well. You don't really take recognition of some of these milestones that this group of players have achieved over these last 2.5 years, with wins in Warrington and St Helens and Bradford. How long it's been, like I say, between drinks. But it's a nice feeling to know that some of the work's been rewarded. And like I say, if I'm not too clear about it, but I was pleased with the draw. Like I say, I don't think I'll be putting words in Darryl Powell's mouth. I think he'll be pleased with the draw. He might say that they don't fear anybody, but I know they don't at the moment. You see the way they play at Wigan. And we're in a very similar mindset. Not that we fear anybody, and anything can happen in 80 minutes, but if we could have both decided on the draw beforehand, I think we'd have picked each other.
What about the wider game point that it'll be good for the game to have one of the non-usual suspects, either Widnes or Castleford, at Wembley?
It's over the last few years. I know they said that, like you say, it's the winners that have been pretty consistent over the last few years. Hull have been there, Huddersfield have been there. I mean, so we've had a couple of different sides over the last the Super League era. We've had a couple of different sides in there. I think, but I say the strange one is that you're not talking about one side just clawing through and two sides that are unfashionable in that kind of situation is good for the overall game, and it's not just about a cup run as well. When you look at, I said, you can talk about Cass because of their position in the table in third and comfortably in third at this moment in time. And we're sitting inside the 8 and know that we've got a game in hand and we've got some good stuff coming up for our supporters as well to consolidate that position. That it's good for the overall game that you can see two sides like that pushing into those positions where, if you just sat down at the beginning of the year, you'd have probably, and a lot of pundits did, would have stuck us in the 9, 10, 11, 12 kind of situation.
Did you come out healthy from the Thursday's game?
We did. We came out all right, actually. Yeah, that was one of the keys and tricks of those kind of games, is making sure that you don't get any bumps or bruises or even knocks or tears that are going to keep players out for not just a week but considerably longer sometimes. So I'm pleased that we got through and got out the other side of that without any damage. and we're going to need that as well coming into this next week. Like I say, I don't think the Easter period's tough, but I don't think we've been given as tough a task in a long time to play Hull, Wigan and Leeds.
You're going to use the full depth of your squad, Dennis?
Well,
trying to get some bodies back at the moment.
I'm going to try, yeah. I'm going to try and use as many people as I can over this. But, and this is a big but as well, it's always that just keeping your eye on what's in front of you. I think our home form is important to us. Like I say, we talked about this place being somewhere where people fear to come and how well we play here. We've got 2 games at home, and I think those are important to us, for the supporters, for us as a group, to make sure we consolidate that kind of feeling. And to do that, I can't look at Leeds, I can't even think about Wigan, and what I've got to do is I've got to concentrate on picking side to win on Friday night, and then we'll sit down as a coaching staff and we'll assess where we are with the medical staff, and I'll pick a side for Wednesday night, and then we'll do the same again on Thursday. I won't do much training, but we'll just have to do plenty of recovery, aggressive recovery.
Is anyone in frame for Friday, Denis, who hasn't played for a while? Cahill's and
Cahill's up for selection. Phil Joseph's up for selection. So yeah, we're Paddy Flynn back in the team. Yeah, we'll come straight back in the side after his discretions. But yeah, so Paddy's back in. Phil Joseph is up for selection. Cahill's back in the contention as well. So those kind of players back in the frame is good for us moving forward. Joe Miller is not far off as well. I'm hopeful that Joe might play a part in some point in this next week. So Joe's looking very, very good. Like I said, just waiting for the all clear from the medical side of it for him to give him a nod to play, and Joe for himself to be confident enough to be able to go out there and play, not just run around and rehab and lift weights. So it's a lot down to Joe as well, and how confident he is in himself. So yeah, it's, at the moment, touch wood, where my selection troubles are starting to mount up, which is always good, and hopefully we can keep it that way.
Is John back as well, Dennis?
Yeah, John will be in the side.
You nailed Hull in the away game, Denis. You must have hurt, well, judging by the Bradford's reaction, it hurt. They'll be looking for some payback for that, I would have thought.
Well, they've had a week off as well, so they would have done plenty of work on us and work on their own game as well. They had a bit of a victory got themselves back in winning ways at London in the last fixture. No, they the 7-0. It was a crappy day. It was wet. We handled the conditions a lot better than they did. We had a lot of desire. At the end of the day, it was on their home ground. There wasn't a lot in the sides. Like I say, 7 points, not a lot, but like I said, to nil the side's really impressive. I think the conditions played a big part in that night, on that afternoon, sorry. And yeah, you can use those as tools for if you want to, but they've only got, like I say, you can only draw from that well so many times, and we know what we've got to do. We know where we are. It's our home ground. We want to put a performance in, and we want to keep moving forward as a group. I think it's important that we get something out of Friday night here.
I was watching the telly on Saturday, and John Wilkin mentioned something called Wembley brain, about players losing focus in the league when they go into Wembley. You've done it enough times. I know it's 9 weeks off. Is that a fear for you?
No, not at all. No, never heard that one. And it was one of those strange things, because the season was at a focal point when I played there. It wasn't like a mid-season competition where you got to a point and then you had a long time before, like you say before, and your words, John, before drinks. So like it's a strange concept to be able to get to a semi and then have to wait 9 weeks before you have to play it. So it's too tough to think like that. Like I say, we've had a chat with the players, and our squad's not large enough to think like that, and we know the players know how important every single week is to this group, and that's something we've tried to reinforce constantly about levels of performance, and consistency is the one thing that we've been driving to over the last couple of years, and we're still a little bit off it in certain areas, and we're a lot better, but that's That's something that we talk about every single day, the consistency in performance. And if you're not playing well, we've already spoken about the fact that there's going to be competition for places, hopefully, in 9 weeks. And that competition starts now, so if we're playing well every week to get into that situation. And hopefully we'll have an able-bodied squad to be able to make it a tough selection.
The fact that it's 9 weeks, it's a long break, a long time. Is that good for you, given the fact how good Castleford are playing and you've got bodies coming back? Is that a bonus?
Not really, no. It's like I say, I'd rather do it in 2 weeks' time. I think we're playing good as well. So, like I said, there's what is in at the moment? There's like 5 points in between. We've got a game in hand, 3 points on the table if we won our game. Or I think if you look at the way we played against them on their own patch, the scoreline says one thing, but the game, when you speak to Darryl, the first half is 12-10 to us. We lose the player. Lose our head a little bit, but we score 4 of the best tries in the game and tighten up in certain areas, and we're not far off them. So I don't think their form or our form at this moment in time in the cup semi-final makes a lot of difference. Like I say, both teams could drop off in their form, but it's a semi-final. I think it's a completely different game.
Some of your young lads who played on Thursday did well for you, Denis. Hume had a strong game. Gilmore got a hat-trick. So that's bodes well, doesn't it?
Does.
Is that all you've got to say?
No, well, I think the beauty of what we've got at the moment, like I say, having a little bit of a tight squad, someone like Deck, he's only just finished his studies and been out, he's managed to, you can see that he's getting stronger every year and every game, and he's had, like I say, he's been in and out of the side, but the patience I've got with him is that he's working hard, and he might fall backwards a little bit. I think it was a bit of a tough baptism of fire when we took him to Catalans and he got stuck in the side, and against a big side, and struggled quite evidently out there. But I think you saw on the weekend, and again when we played here a couple of weeks ago, that he scored a couple of tries in the corner against Catalan that day, and he's getting better all the time. And Tom's always had that ability in him. He's grown into his own body and a little bit more mature, and he knows what the game is. He knows how to play the game, and it's just that consistency in his performance that you don't get unless you play. And he's been on, like, both him, Grant Gore and Danny Craven have all really been a little bit unlucky with some of their injuries, because they probably could have put a better run together with one of them. Gilly might not be in the side if Grant hadn't got injured. Grant might not be in the side if Gilly hadn't got injured. You know what I mean? And along the way, Danny Craven's been in and out because of knocks and bumps and bangs. But I've got a lot of faith in the fact that I can use those players quite easily now in a big game, and I'll be confident in them delivering a level of consistency and performance that the team needs.
Of course, Danny signed a new deal. Denis must be pleased with all that.
The retention of our quality players is really important to us, especially when you look at the game at the moment as well, and the need for halfbacks and the need for quality that Danny offers. So, like I say, there's ability for him to move around and look somewhere else, but he understands that the development at this moment is important. This place is working with him to develop him. All the coaches want him to get better and want him to work harder, and he sees that and the relevance that it's going to have in his career is going to be important. So I was really pleased that he penned a 3-year deal and will stay here with us and get better consistently over that time.
How beneficial do you think the partnership with Crusaders has been for players like Danny and Grant and Adam Lawton and people like that?
It's a tough one really, because we run a tight squad. It's hard to consistently say you've got that player every week, and it's hard for the Crusaders to keep, when they're going well and they've had a couple of wins and I've needed a place to play, and they've not been able to pick them because they've had a good win. So the benefits are okay if you've got a game now and again, but there's no consistency in it, and I think the Crusaders are the same. They'd like to have our players more. They'd like for them to play more, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I think it needs a good overhaul, and it needs something looking at it, because I don't think it benefits either group as well as it should.